Well, on the 20th of Iyar, Chaf Iyar, marks the Hilula of a really famous Temani Yemenite rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yihya Abahl Halevi, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. He was born in English year 1883 and he passed away in 1968, in May 1968. Naturally, that was the 20th of Iyar. He would become a chief rabbi, let's just say, of the Yemenite community and the head of Jewish court of the Yemenite community in Jerusalem. Very prominent positions. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in the city of Sharaf in Teman, in Yemen. This was, sadly, I believe his father passed away at a very young age. He happened to be a Sofer Stam, a great rabbi. And so very, very tough. It was under tough circumstances that his father passed away young. And I believe his mum, at a very young age, also passed away very, very sadly. And there was a law, I think, in Yemen at that point in time to convert if someone was an orphan at a young age, to convert to Islam. So there's that fear over that at that point in time, which was obviously terrifying for anybody. Unfortunately, we see the anti-Semitism there was all throughout these different countries, all throughout. He would learn Torah under his grandfather's auspices, Rav Yosef Abahl, and I think his uncle, Rav Abraham Abahl. Really, really great people, and really learn at a great high rate in of itself. He had an incredible ability, let's just say, even while he was a young man, and he, within regards to comprehension, within regards to learning Torah, and he became knowledgeable pretty much of the whole of Talmud. Now, I think it's reported over, while he was at a young age, he would make the decision to go to Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, it was a long journey. It wasn't a quick journey at that point in time. I think he would actually travel with his sister. I think around the year 1900, he would be about 16, 17 years of age at that point in time. And it was a very, very difficult journey, let's just say, to get there. I think there was bandits on the way and a lot of troubles on the way to arrive in Eretz Yisrael. They were attacked by Haman, but he eventually immigrated to Jerusalem and would start learning in a famous yeshiva over there, the Yeshivat Torat Chaim, a very famous yeshiva. I think it was actually founded back in the year 1886 by Rav Yitzchak Vingard and Rav Yosef Eliyahu Vingard, also respectively. And I think other great rabbis had a role in it, including Rav Zerach Epstein. So he would actually learn over there inside this yeshiva, this Torah academy, once he arrived. I think a famous story, he was learning tractate Yivamot when he arrived, high-level Gemara learning. And the person thought, because he was new to the place, you should start off learning Mishnah. So he challenged the person, saying, close the Gemara, and he said, attest me on anything on Mesachet Yivamot. And it became apparent his brilliance with regards to Gemara learning. And the person that actually initially asked him went back and obviously was very seemingly embarrassed by asking that question, and was also at the same time very amazed by the greatness of Rabbi Yihya, respectively. And many of the Yemenite rabbis were at a very, very high Torah level. Now, Rabbi Yihya will get married to his wife, Rabbanit Foda. I believe she happens to be the daughter of Rabbi Yehuda Yemini. I think a very famous Yemenite family, if I'm not mistaken. It was maybe we've mentioned that family name on various occasions before. He had a ability of a quick grasp, let's just say, when it came to Torah knowledge. He had a huge amount of knowledge within regards to all the spheres of Talmud. And most of his days, I believe he would live in the neighborhood in Jerusalem called Shimon HaTzadik over there. It's a place we visited on this channel on various occasions before. Shimon HaTzadik, a very prominent area in Jerusalem at the moment, and it was populated at that stage in time mostly by Yemenite Jews. He would head the Torah to Moshe Yeshiva over there, and he taught several hours a day, especially from noon to the evening, teach the various different poskim, the Talmud, Midrashim, and word to word, he would quote by heart pretty much every subject, especially which Tosfot mentions, a great commentator, as it was as if the Gemara was open before his eyes, even when it was closed. That's how great he was. He also would work as a Sofer Stam and make a living from this. Now, after the famous Yemenite Rabbi Shalom al-Sheikh, who happened to be the rabbi of the Yemenite community in Jerusalem, had sadly, I believe, passed away, Rabbi Yihya was appointed in his place as a rabbi and also as a head of Jewish court, respectively, in Jerusalem. Very prominent position, and which we have to, let's say, point out. I think he writes many different Torah innovations. Sadly, I think during the time period of the War of Independence, the yeshiva burned down. A lot of his writings got lost and innovations, and obviously caused him a lot of stress. The yeshiva would eventually move to the Nachlat Tzvi neighborhood. Now, this also is, I think, in Jerusalem, quite near Mea Shearim, and it was actually built by Jews from Yemen, this neighborhood. And there was a Beit Midrash, I think, since then, Tiferet Tzvi, which is quite famous there. Let's just say there was a central Beit Midrash for Yemenite Jews. He had established, let's just say, a Bet Din over there. He was a member of the spiritual community of Yemenite community, along with another famous rabbi, Rabbi Yosef Kapach, a very, very great rabbi I've mentioned about on various occasions before. And Rabbi Shlomo Tzadok, another great rabbi we've spoken to. He very, very interesting. So we can't stress enough about how great he was. It was very interesting. People would always be going to his house the whole time. His house would be open for people on Shabbat. And but sadly, I believe he passed away during Suda Shishit on the 20th of Iyar. Now, that many thousands of people would actually come to his burial. He was buried in Har Menochot, I think near the burial plot of the Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azilei. And many people just testified with regards to the greatness of the rabbi, which we've already mentioned out. Okay, now the Yemenite, it's actually reported over, just with regards to illustrate his greatness, the committee of the Yemenite community wanted to buy him a dirah, for example, something chashuv for him, but he refused. He was against it and he liked to live in a small, simple apartment, very, very small apartment, and tried to stay away from all the frivolities, let's just say, of this world. Despite many people try to shower him with gifts, he refused to accept gifts. And he had the small building, he had the small apartment in the neighborhood, very near, obviously, the yeshiva, so it'll be convenient. And it was very, very small kitchen, small everything. And I believe he would have lived in this apartment for 20 years until he passed away. So obviously he didn't spend his time in Israel, let's just say, as a wealthy man. I think people from Ashkenazic and both Sephardic rabbinical communities offered him. Obviously he was justified for taking with the great work he was doing. The whole time, as we say, he was able to quote subjects by heart in regards to Talmud, Poskim, and Midrashim, obviously speaking about the Tosfot very much. Even when he was walking down the street, his lips was always moving with Torah. That was the greatest, and also the greatest rabbis, let's just say, in Jerusalem, even from other demonitions, let's just say from different areas, also knew and held him at a very high esteem. And they also saw the great modesty he had. One of them, I think that many, many people were amazed by him, giving him blessings the whole time. And he would work as, let's say, the spiritual committee head of the Yemenite community, along with Rav Yosef Kapach, Rav Shlomo Tzadok. These were really great rabbis. And I think he was also great with regards to Kabbalah wisdom, and was among the students of the famous Yeshivot Rehovot Nahar, which is, I think, a yeshiva based in the Bukharim neighborhood. And they study Kabbalah studies, mainly Kabbalists from Aram Tzoa, from Syria, respectively. I think that yeshiva itself was founded by Rav Shalom al-Sheikh and Rabbi Chaim Shaul HaKohen Dweck, really great Halevi rabbi. He would study with a member of his Bet Din, and which was also absolutely astounding. You know, the knowledge he was able to let's just get and perpetuate was absolutely incredible. I think his name was Rav Sa'id Shiri'an, another great rabbi we've mentioned about on various occasions before, which I recommend everyone to look back into. It's reported over that when he was teaching inside the Beit Midrash Kabbalah, Rav Mordechai Shurabi would actually attend his shiurim. He wrote many various different Torah novels, but as we stated before, the yeshiva was burned down, especially on the period of Independence War, respectively. I think sadly, a few of his children passed away during his lifetime, and I think there was severe famine, especially at the time when the Turks were ruling the country. And he, as a general, I think the Yemenite, the Temani Rabbanim, really believed in making their parnasah themselves, start getting a helping hand in a bit. He was known for speaking in a calm fashion, in a pleasant fashion, and would give great importance and attention to everyone, to all different people of all different walks of life over there. He would give sweets, I think, to children, and he had the personality, a sense of humor, and really, and really, really charismatic. He passed away, it was on Shabbat, I think Suda time, on the 20th of Iyar, in the middle of it, I think. And as we stated on onset, many people would actually would actually come at the time of his Shiva. So it was a great rabbi of his time. Don't forget to light candles in his memory. Friends of the community here, we're learning about the great rabbis of yesterday. If you happen to descend from any of the great rabbis we're speaking about, send me an email. Please subscribe now to the channel. I'm wishing you all well. Thank you very much, and take care.